it's like, how can you determine who's a honest Christian and who's not? We're not Christians, just God believers in general. Because people, you don't have to be Christians to believe in God.
Well, God is omnipresent, everything. So God is everywhere. So for people to think that they could box God in by putting him in a particular religion, you can't say that God is omnipresent and then say he's only present through Christianity. He's only present through this. He's only present through this. Then he's not omnipresent. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, anyone can believe in God. God is everywhere, and then there's multiple access points. I remember walking into a woo-woo church when I first, back in 2008, 2013, one of those eras, because this would be my third time seeking God. Maybe. I don't really know how many times I've sought God. I have to also determine what my definition of seeking God is. Because, like, I stood on the corner. My earliest memory of God was standing on the corner for Vacation Bible School. My family didn't go to church. But somehow I ended up, and this is when it was safe to let your 6, 7-year-old stand on the corner. I was standing on the street corner waiting for the bus to take me to Vacation Bible School. That was my earliest memory of God. Now, was that me seeking God? Now, my next memory of God, now I do remember my dad doing a stint as a Jehovah's Witness. I don't remember any about that except for the red books. But I don't remember too much about that. And then my next, there's a sharpener maybe in my top drawer or in our box with all the school stuff. When I tell you I sharpened every pencil in that room, I was like, no one is allowed to sharpen another pencil in this classroom. Wow. If you need, because it's just all day, and they don't know how to properly use it. So it's like, I'm just like, my fucking God. And then there's two. So there's one over here and one over here, and they do not effectively sharpen pencils. There's no reason why for the 5th time, like, how hard are you pressing or not sharpening? So I said, I'm sharpening all the pencils, so nothing but sharpened pencils. And I was like, you'll put your dull ones here. When I tell you this is going to be a well-oiled machine by the time I'm done with this.
I remember my teachers used to do that.
How y'all doing? We talking about God and life and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, because this classroom gonna be perfect. Okay, but we were talking about my earliest memories of God. God exposure. I don't remember. Maybe Vacation Bible School taught me the songs. The Bible. Yes, that's the book for me. I signed my name on the word of God. The Bible spells Bible.
How many people, like, I feel like, I don't know. But I will say, because the only person I know that I still look at and I've gone to church with is my friend from kindergarten. The girl.
Kindergarten. Okay. Oh, with the mom and dad?
Yeah. So think about it. Like, she never seemed like she was, like, unholy or, like, she didn't actually believe when she went. And, I mean, her personality today, it seemed like she could be a faithful believer. But with that, it's just like...
Does she move as a Christian?
She hasn't given me iffy vibes.
So my question is, does she move as a Christian? Does she speak of God? Or do you just know that she goes to church because you went to church with her before?
That's what I'm saying. Like, she didn't give me red flags to assume that she didn't believe what she's hearing at church. But I also don't see her personally pursuing God.
Well, my question then is, why do we have to guess if you know God, if you know God? Like, to me, the sign of a believer is we're out spreading the gospel through demonstration, which means people assume I'm a Christian. People assume I go to church because of how much I talk about God and how much I talk about, well, I don't really talk about Jesus, but I do identify with the Bible as my holy book. So people are like, you go to church? No, I don't go to church. You probably may never catch me in a church unless I'm speaking at the church. Like, I can't see myself attending a church. I listen to gospel music.
And that's the thing, like, the church is what we see these videos of people talking about spiritual things are. That's what church is for them. But they discredit what we see on the internet because, oh, it's the internet, you know? But I think about like that video I sent you, that guy talking in his car, like about like the mountain thing. I don't know. Like it was like a picture of this guy, either I think it was digging. It was like that picture that you sent me of the different stages of people.
Excuse me.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, but keep talking.
Anywho, like that video that guy sent you, where he was just talking about like a day and a half ago. The light skin dude. You don't know.
Just keep talking. You send me a lot of videos, so I'm fixated on the guy with the crazy hair who was talking about, and I don't remember what he was talking about. It might be was he in a car where he was just sitting here was like, meh, huh? That's all I got to say about that. Like he was just he was dropping wisdom like on wisdom, and then he just like dropped off like he really didn't just say something.
Did he
like
have glasses or no?
He had glasses.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
so we remember the video for two different reasons. I thought he was white.
Hey, you're funny.
No, he wasn't white.
No, he's a light skinned man.
He's way light skinned.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like, those are what they see a preacher is. But
Yeah.
us, we'll listen to a guy on TikTok real quick because he's dropping gems. But people, they will sit and be like, my only God relationship is what God tells me. And then they wait on Sunday to listen to a 2-hour talk with this guy teaching them like,
Interpreting the Bible for them.
exactly, like it's one verse and it's like, okay, so this is how you handle trust. And then it's just like, whenever you come across your friend.
And have you
owe them
ever
money.
and have you ever dissected a sermon? Like if you
People
act
actually do that. It's just like people do that at home when they sit down and they're like, you know, taking their notes, or because I know people like, I don't know. There's a couple people like they'll post and I'll see that they're taking notes on at home sermons, but I don't see them doing it in person.
But my question in the respect of dissecting a sermon, if you actually sit down and listen to an individual who is giving a speech or a sermon, well, first of all, you can't catch a thing because like as you and I continue to talk, something will come up in this conversation where we'll be like, this is the theme of our conversation because we keep looping back to it. Like faith. Autism has been a theme for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. God has been teaching us about the developmental delays and tying everything back to autism for 3 weeks now.
It's
So
important to cater to those people because imagine how long they've been taken advantage of. Like how these people pull these, do stuff to old people because they're not cognitively aware.
well, who knows how to truly help an autistic individual? And that's why God had me watch that dang documentary, like Tell Them You Love Me or something like that. And there was this guy, his name was D-Man, and he could not talk, could not speak. He was nonverbal. And so they had him using a machine, and he hooked up with this lady who's supposed to be groundbreaking in the technology, and all of a sudden this man turns into like
Shoot, Stephen Hawking.
communicating that way, but he turns into this brilliant mind, and it's just like, was this brilliant mind locked in here the whole time and they didn't know to develop them? Or is she pretending that or somehow manifesting this on his behalf? And so we don't know what is true because he can't communicate. And so she and him, so-called, ended up in a relationship. Now, I saw both perspectives. I saw the family's perspective where they were saying that she SA'd this disabled man. But I see her perspective because how do we know this 40-year-old man does not have desires for,
It's kind of sad.
and didn't want it? Like, maybe he is happy he cop a feel.
It is so sad.
Like, he's been on this earth for 40 years, and he now has an opportunity to be inside another human. I don't know what language I could use, but just because he's autistic doesn't mean he don't want to get some.
And I feel like they perverted sex.
Yeah, she said, the mom, no, because let me tell you, the mom said, I had to put him on medication because he won't stop touching himself.
That's natural. It's not.
Yes, he's 40 years old. You put him on medication so he can stop pleasuring himself?
That's the thing, and the whole thing with like.
As if just because he's developmental delayed, he's not supposed to have those urges. Aren't you supposed to? Or like you're supposed to like get him up out of there. You can't leave him in there, right?
I mean,
But there's people out here who are doing retention stuff, so you can leave them in there. I don't know too much about it. I don't know too much. I'm just saying, you went and medicated your kid simply because he started pleasuring himself now that he done got him a feel, but he been on this earth for 40 years. He's sitting there watching. I don't mean to cut you off, but he's sitting there watching his brother go to college. Like, something is going on in his head where he's watching everyone around him live life. And it's like when my mom had that stroke and she couldn't talk, all she could do was move her eyes. She's watching all this life happening around her. I felt so bad because she was just laying there stuck in her body, just watching people hug over her, have conversations over her, all these different things. She couldn't do nothing but lay there. So now we have these autistic people who, on whatever they're labeling, I'll stop saying that because I don't know if I can say that word, but we have these cognitively delayed people where, depending on what's going on there, people literally are, whatever their spectrum is, people literally are living life around them because they think that they can't pick up how to live life with them.
Which sucks, because that has sent to him for 40 years. And then they jokes about 40-year-old versions and stuff. Like, there's literally a movement out there for that. And I just feel like it's kind of weird that they perverted sex into it being like she assaulted him, she did something to him.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Like, sex is to make babies.
And she said they were in love.
Right, sex is supposed to be love-based. It's not supposed to be with your mom. So why is he going to be like, look at his mom when he wants to have sex?
Yeah.
Like, just give her a look. Just be like, hey, mom, bring someone
Filter
over.
yourself, friend, before they filter my live. That's all right.
I'm sorry. But with the whole, like, self-pleasure,
Son, do your homework.
you just said the word yourself. Anyway, with the whole self-pleasure thing, I just feel like it's kind of sad that we demonize it. Like, even from, like, it being, like, a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old doing it, make it seem like it's, like, terrible for people to do. And it shouldn't be.
Well, I think it's how they're doing it.
Exactly. Like, if it's because they were groomed or they were taken care of in a certain way that, like...
Well...
It's mine, okay?
We'll just say if people have learned...
Yo, get the whiteboard. I'm trying not to sneeze. It's not helping me. Well, everyone that has done it was watching something they shouldn't have been watching.
That, or sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't need to have videos to stimulate that feeling.
I don't know. So
Like
if
when
you
they talk
walk in...
about kids on the carpet and how they'll, like, crisscross applesauce and rub themselves, like, you know. Have you heard of that?
Well, I had a 4-year-old who, in Watch Your Language, I had a 4-year-old in my preschool class who would self-pleasure.
Exactly.
And I would have to go wake her up out of her sleep to stop her. She didn't know what she was doing. She just found something that feels good.
But I just don't like we automatically go to, like, this kid's bad because, you know, they have these feelings.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you were like, well, I gotta write home to her parents about this. She had, you know, her hand in her pants. That's not good here. We don't do that in this place. And your energy around it gets the parents revved up. Parents don't even know what to do in the situation. So it's just like, I feel like these kids just need more help instead of shame. Like, I feel like we just get shamed everywhere we go.
You do. And so now we can say that S trauma started there. And she didn't do nothing. All she knows is self-pleasure is bad. I got in trouble. Go sit down so we can do this.
I didn't get it down. It just got down by itself.
Okay, it needs to be tightened. Go ahead so we can do your words. Why are you giving it to me, son? You're the one that needs to write.
Because he wants you to fix it. He didn't want to get in trouble.
You made me aware. Thank you.
I'm just going to put the top right
Son.
up here, okay?
Take the top with. Fine. Pay. Yeah, so then I went to church with a friend of mine. So that was a choice. I had a friend whose father was a pastor, and so they went to church every Sunday. So I wanted to hang out with my friends. So here's another friend where it's just like, well, if you hang out with me, you got to do what I do. Ooh.
Pay.
At least you found
Wait.
out for yourself this time.
Wait. It's a mutual respect now. Well, it's always been self-gain. Paint. I can't think of the self-gain. Well, even if the self-gain is just to have someone to hang out with, right? To go to fun places. I'm not going to get invited to these places on my own. Train. So if I know that I'm not going to get invited to these places on my own, but I do want to go, and I do want to go with fun people, I may have to allow myself to be treated a kind of way to pale. The skin is pale. All right. Clay. Yeah, that's how people end up in terrible, terrible situations. But, Trey, I've been...
I have this headache. I'm just not desperate. I'm happy I'm not a desperate person. Because if I were desperate, I probably...
Plain.
I don't think I would have died, but I feel like I would
It's plain.
experience some more traumatic situations.
Well, you find yourself around people who don't care about you more often staying. Then when you're desperate for attention, you find yourself in situations you shouldn't be in because you just were desperate for attention. And so you find yourself, hay, like they eat hay, I think. Works for me. Gray. You find yourself around anybody just to get attention. Just ride in the car with somebody, while they go and run errands and you're in the car with them. So to a degree, away. To a degree, you were her too. You wanted something to do. So you were riding around while this person was doing what they were doing. But what happens if they got caught up while they were doing that? And now you're doing a bid because you were bored.
Exactly. And it's just...
Lake.
Well, like I told you, the gallon bottle of Tito's, hey, if we all got in trouble.
Hey, Nika, is that you? I can't read.
And of course, there's people older than me around. But
what does that say, friend?
I would
Lake.
never know if I would...
Lake. Yes, let's go to the lake.
So just okay.
I don't know, just spell the word. It's me, I know, look at, hey friend. We were talking about God, we were talking about all kinds of things.
Can we all say the AY?
Oh, look, I just got posted. I looked at her post.
Who?
No, because she's at the end of her braiding. She's not braiding after this year. She's done.
Okay.
So she's just posting her styles.
Oh.
Look at
Yes.
me.
Oh, look at a door. Young feature.
Right? She did.
Snake.
She took that photo a long time ago.
All right, I was talking about my first God exposures, and I was talking about how I had a friend who her family went to church, and I was saying this was the beginning of black. This is the beginning of me having friends who are like, well, if you want to hang out with me, you have to hang out with me the way that I want to hang out. And then we ended up on the part where it was just like, now this is me wanting to be a part of something so badly that you end up in... No, I did not say Blake. I said black. Black. Remember, if it's a short sound, it has a particular ending. And if it's a long sound, it has a particular ending. Yes, sir. Ask. And so I found myself in all kinds of situations because I just wanted a friend. But on the healthy side, if it's a mutual gain, like if I'm trying to soak up game from you, Nika, and you're like, look, you got to do it moving. Guess what? I'm going to do it moving because I need to soak up this game for you, and you don't have time to stop for me. All right? So there is a healthy way to do it, but when I was a child, raisin, I would like to eat a raisin. There's a healthy way to manifest it. So this particular friend, I wanted to go to church with her, or I started going to church with her. And that's where I attribute learning how to tithe through going to church with her. Raisin, excellent. Birthday. I attribute learning how to tithe from her family. And I remember praying every week. I learned about prayer too. So I must have learned how to pray too and ask God for money. And God used to give me $1 too. Sir, I said birthday. Birthday.
I'm trying to figure out
Okay, and I used to pray. I was like, God, please give me $1 so I could put it in the offering plate because I wanted to tithe too. They give your money up. BIRTHCAY. Excellent. Afraid.
What do you mean
afraid, friend. And so every week somehow I would find $1. How come I don't just be finding dollars laying around now? God, just give me $1 million to put in the offering plate. But I used to pray, so I learned how to pray during that stint, and I learned how to tithe. And I guess that's also going to be the beginning of my faith, because I believe God would give me $1, not so that God would give me $2 or give me more. There's a lot there that I can dissect with that. Like, I really wanted to have $1 to put in the offering plate, one, because of group culture, right? Group think. Everybody else is putting $1 in the offering plate. I want to put $1 in the offering plate too. But also I wanted to put $1 in the offering plate. Sir, you see I'm trying to dissect myself? Wait a second. Afraid.
Is there E at the end?
Afraid.
F? Is it A, F?
I wanted to put $1 in the offering plate because today, at my big age, I am attributing my learning how to tithe to then. So whether I knew it or not, I was developing a belief that if I gave to God, God would give back to me. So somehow I made the connection, like, this shit really works. And in my, I don't know how old I was, 10, 11, 12-year-old brain, I didn't know that I was conceptualizing that, whenever I put something in that plate, I somehow get something to put in that plate. So I was picking that up and making that connection, which is something, when I say the law of giving and receiving, you can't outgive God. Now, that doesn't mean that you're never going to be in a position of need. And whatever that need is, one F. And there, AFR, is that AFF or AFR? What did you write?
Does it AFR? Does it look like an F?
You moved it so fast, son. Always. So yeah. So that's cool. It's really cool when you can trace your life back and see where your thoughts and beliefs were born. What did you write? Read what you wrote.
Always.
What did I say? Always. It's really cool when you can trace your life back. And when you can trace your life back and you see where a belief began, if it is a belief that you would like to alter, this is how you change your history. If it's a belief that you would like to alter that belief. The core belief is that, if you tithe, yada yada. Later on in my God walk, I learned about first fruits. And, I got a little bit more information on offering and seed sowing. So I got a little bit more, always, son. I got a little bit more information on that. I have a code, y'all. And so I was able to go back to my original seed that was sown, which was, for me, cognitively, recalling, was when I used to go to church with my friend and I would put the $1 in the plate. So now I can alter that from, tithing into, when I left the church, I tapped into the law of giving and receiving. And it was so difficult for me to really get into the space of knowing that God just wants you to give. The church poisoned my mind. I can speak for myself. The church poisoned my mind so much that I felt I could only give to the church for God to see it. God did not receive if you gave to the homeless man on the corner. You had to give to the church. So it took me a long time to truly internalize, to know that God just wants you to give. And whatever you give, it doesn't have to be monetary. If you can give a smile, give a smile. Whatever you can give. And you don't give in lack, you give in abundance too. Everybody's like, whatever you need, give it so you can get it back. No. Give in abundance. That is how you move from lack. Give in abundance. You can't outgive God. And that just came to me, and it made sense when it first came to me. But now that it's time for me to explain what it means to give in abundance, I can't really explain it. But that was my first. Dang, I just keep looking at this. I'm like, she did a really good job.
Queen
Yeah, she
Mother.
did. She's very talented.
Yeah.
Queen Mother.
Yes, friend. What is she doing after braiding?
The whole
Is this always?
coaching thing I told you about.
This is
Oh,
always.
she's just going into it, huh?
Yeah, well, she's been transitioning. Like, she's been building her page as far as she does hair vendors. She does a lot of things.
Yeah, she is someone. She's a
I'm
hustler.
telling you.
Yeah,
And
she's someone for you to study under, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know her personally, so like I said, she will feed into you differently than I believe that she would feed into someone else.
Exactly why it's important for me.
You know, because it's not just about here. Please stop fanning me. Why? What? Leave me alone.
Always.
Another.
Okay.
And you don't get to go behind me, look at the word, and then spell the word out. No, I'm not even playing your game anymore. The jig is up.
Okay,
I knew the first time you came behind me and then suddenly knew how to spell afraid. Like, yo, do you know who you're trying to play? I'm her. Don't try me. No.
People be thinking,
You've already cheated, which means now you're wasting my time, and I don't have my time to
What about
waste.
my thing?
No.
My,
Go do some homework. Go read a book. Aren't you supposed to be reading your 5 pages?
Are you supposed to be reading your 5 pages?
I'm listening to my book on depression, which is really weird because it's just like sadness is important, because if there was no sadness, then how could you feel happiness? Because you just feel happy. All these people who are experts that are telling you that you can't feel something without feeling the opposite, they're not experts.
You're not experts.
I don't have to ever experience sadness. Understand, a baby doesn't come here sad. A baby learns sadness. So for anyone to tell you you have to feel sad, they don't understand learned behaviors. Babies aren't sad. They cry because they're hungry, because they're dirty, they're somehow uncomfortable. That is why they're crying, not because they're sad. We learn to be sad. So do not accept sadness in your life. And I'm not going to say sadness doesn't come. It comes. But you have control of that. You determine what that looks like. And if there's some sort of chemical, something going on, that's something different. I always want to say that because I don't want to seem insensitive to anyone's journey. But what I know to be true is God did not program us with sadness. We did not come to this earth to be sad. And so I'm listening to this book on depression because I feel, not because God told me, but because I feel I can be insensitive in an area that maybe I shouldn't speak on because I'm not an expert. Oh my God. And so I was like, well, let me listen to a book on depression since, I want to talk about it because I have been depressed. My brand of depression. I've been her. And I have grown myself to a space where I no longer will become her. Now, can something happen? I don't believe it can, because for something to happen where I now allow myself to become depressed, I stop believing in God. Here's your hug, my friend. I love you. I stopped believing in God. Oh, thank you. Let there be a real G in the audience. But for me, I can speak for me. Depression means you believe something is possible, or you believe something is not possible. Depression is the manifestation of the absence of faith. Now, I'm speaking from that perspective. I'm not speaking from that sound. The sound is so distracting. It's a double-edged sword. Do you want it or not? But I'm speaking from the perspective that, I know I was talking about depression, but...
What is the meaning of depression you're saying?
I don't know. I just have been in a space in my life, bless you. I have been in a space in my life where I no longer wanted to live. I even took a handful of vitamin C when I was a kid because I didn't know it was vitamin. I didn't know vitamin C wouldn't do anything. And the thing is, I said goodbye to my sister. She was getting ready to leave, and she was like, she just looked at me. Like, how can she say I've always been your sister? I've always been down for you when essentially not her language. I've always been down for you. If you believe that I would say something to you, you must not know my character. You must not truly know me. You know, you were the chick when I told you I took a handful of pills. You just looked at me and went and hung out. Like, you didn't alert no adults. You just looked at me, hey, Anita, you just looked at me and was like, you're that sister. So you don't get to look at me today and be like, why would you think that I would call you trash? I would never say that. You did. You're the same sister who would walk extra fast because dad said, take your sister with you. And so you would try to leave me. You're that sister. So yes, I do believe that you would call me trash.
Which is kind of weird because, like, if you're walking fast and you're not doing what you're told. Like, I'm probably the type of sister where, like, I don't want you around, but so I don't get in trouble, you're sitting right next to me, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more of, like, a covert. I don't know.
Well, there's a difference behind I'm still going to look out for you even though I don't want you here. You do that right now. You see Angel needs a backpack for school. Me? You take your money, go buy her a backpack.
Oh, I was like, I can't, like, what do you mean she needs a backpack?
No, I'm saying you cannot stand your sister and still make sure she's taken care of. My sister couldn't stand me and was stealing clothes from her clothing store that she worked at and never stole me none. Knowing I was wearing the same, I had one pair of jeans.
Which sucks because in that perspective, it's just like, they're just not looking out for you. And I can understand, like, you might not want someone else to be an accomplice to what you're doing, or you just want to work alone. But if you're being flamboyant about the fact that you're stealing things, or I don't know how it came up, but she could have looked out for you.
She stole for herself. Why would she steal for me? Oh,
I don't steal for my sister.
Well, she would put it under her clothes. What I'm saying is, she sacrificed for her sister. She did not sacrifice for her sister. She would sacrifice for herself. Right. But she wouldn't sacrifice for her sister.
Which could be difficult.
Take your money. You don't like there was a point in time you did not like your sister and you still would do for her. You understand?
Yeah.
My sister didn't like me and she wouldn't do for me. She went to work and earned money. I just went to the stealing because she didn't even have to spend her money on me. She could have just stole. She's like, I didn't buy this for you. Here's some socks. Yeah, like, no. She wouldn't even get no free stuff for me.
Because she knows your predicament.
Yeah, she knows.
That's why I feel like I gotta help Angel, because I know her predicament.
Yeah, so even in not liking your sister, you still make sure she gets her life together.
It would be bad on my conscience, I feel like, if I didn't help her, though. Like, if I went the next 10 years.
Yeah, and my sister doesn't feel that way. And so for her to say, you don't know my character, I do. I do know your character.
Which is weird, because, like, we should always have a choice, and I feel like I don't want to make the wrong choice, and the wrong choice is probably, not necessarily abandoning her, but not giving her what she needs, because if she doesn't have a stable home life, then she's gonna have a really hard time. And I'm not saying that it's not stable now, but it hasn't been stable in the past. Like, I don't know, she just not that she has daddy issues, but with the fact that she wishes she had her own dad, and then she.
Now, did she wish?
And Dre isn't really.
I'm going to cut you off really quick because it goes deeper than Dre. For her to want a parent who completely abandoned her, how terrible were the parents that she had, that she created this perfect fake dad that she wanted so bad.
And I feel
that's how bad her home environment was for her.
Interesting. Because I wouldn't take it that severe of a take. I just feel
I do.
Yeah.
Because she wanted, like, she literally came to me the other day and she was like, Mom, can you change my name to Angel Taylor? She's ready to drop Manday. Like, you've never carried McMurray. She's always carried Manday. And she finally came to me and said, Mom, I just want to be Angel Taylor.
Yeah, that's why it's important to know your children. That's unfortunate.
Yes.
And there's people who overlook that type of stuff. Like, if you were to be insensitive and make a joke in that moment, or like kind of like not even do it for her, or just dismiss the situation, it's obviously bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, if you know how one kid's operated and it's been easy for you, you can't assume that Angel's going to behave like I did.
Yeah.
Like me, I kind of had a visual representation. And that's, like, my dad is completely what I don't want to be. Like, the way that he's treated me, the way he's shown.
You actually had a father.
Yeah. Like, I was like, the first 3 times I met you, you're not... I don't want to see this genie anymore. No more wishes. You can go. Like, and like, think about it. Like, okay, yelling on the side of the road, or just telling me that you're gonna get me a bed and then you don't, and like, I need a bed. Like, it wasn't like
it wasn't like I need a new pair of Jordans. No, nigga, I need a bed. You gonna flake on the bed? The fuck?
It's like $100 all I can get. Shoot. $100 is nothing. I could throw $100 at something. Like, like, that's tithes. He gave me his tithes, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like, don't try and seem like you're this big savior. Like, be okay with what you get. Be okay with being your name and not dad. Like, you know, be okay being who you are. You're not anything more, and don't take it as disrespect. And that's what I kind of learned, is just like, I just don't want to be that person. Like, I don't want to be a person that doesn't know how to control their anger and hops out the car when you're at, like, on the highway.
I demonstrated that for you too.
Yeah, and think about that. Like, and that's what I learned from you guys the most, is just like, that's why I'm happy that I'm not naive as much as people try and say I am. And that's more because I don't know what's out there. Like, I don't know about workers' comp. Shoot, I would have helped them pick up the refrigerator maybe. I'm like, dang, that's kind of a lot of heavy work for you. Let me help you out. Like, it probably would have been something where I, you know, looked out for him, but at the same time burning myself.
Yeah.
So as far as,
I
like,
probably would help try to pick up the refrigerator too, but outside looking in, she said they had her coworker move an industrial size refrigerator. Now his back hurt. I was like, you tell his ass to go to the doctor and file a workers' comp claim. He 20 years old, gonna have back pain for the rest of his life because some dumbass had him move a fucking refrigerator.
Right.
Come on now.
And that's like I was saying, I'm happy that I'm not desperate. Because if I were desperate, I would just be running into more of, like, my dad.
That's why we need tribes, sis.
My dad and my mom and my dad and my mom.
That's why we need community.
And that's
why we need to talk to our children.
And they also accept such poor behaviors. Like, when I say, like, I want people's flaws to be so minuscule, I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, I don't want your flaws to be like, you can't control your anger, you stop the car, and, like, I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm just like, what's next? Because in this day and age, you hear people getting shot at all day, every day. So, like, I wouldn't want to put my life in someone else's hands.
And I have really told the story with pride about how I have put my car in park on the freeway because somebody was, like, I literally put, and I don't know who was in the car, but either way, I'm a single mom.
I believe it was Taylor Grace and I.
And
if this is the day we went to the grocery store and the guy was refusing the food, like, basically one time we picked up TG from school, we went to Safeway, and then there was a guy outside who was homeless asking for some money. Like, no, I can get you Chinese food. And then he didn't. And then after that, I think we were, like, driving and you almost took your belt off and stuff. I felt that was all the same day.
You talking about beating the kid in the car?
No, I'm talking about you getting out the car and trying to take the belt off to hit the lady. I wish I didn't have to go far in depth.
I was going to try to beat somebody with a belt. I was trying to granddad somebody in the street.
Yes.
Do you see how crazy they got us out here acting, Anita? They got your girl out here trying to granddad somebody in the middle of the street behind some road rage. I was out here wild. I don't know who I thought I was about to whoop up on. Yeah. But I thought I was big Billy Badass. And now when I actually do carry a gun, I keep myself to myself. I mind my damn business. Because I ain't trying to go to jail, but I was willing to die. It's weird.
Yeah, jail is probably worse
than death. Oh, Lord. Not the belt. Not, girl.
Right? Like, that's just not a fair fight. Knowing that you don't know what's in the other person's car. Like, it's okay. Don't get me wrong.
It's all stupidity.
It's just more of it's just a scene to watch. And it's like, okay, I won't be doing that. And what can I do to not be there?
Yeah. So we've identified the two multiple levels of absent fatherism. We've identified, okay, I do know of my father, so now we don't have to romanticize him. I know of him. And of what I do know of him, if it is good, because compared to what my mom is presenting, remember, I have the mind of a child.
And that's the thing, it's just like, I don't know if Rose was trying to brainwash me or something, but like those gifts, what were they supposed to be? What were they supposed to...
She didn't know how to emotionally... Boom, so there's multiple reasons why she took you shopping. One, to show you I can do for you what your mother can't do. So it was a dick slinging or a slinging contest there, because she always used to try to come at me.
How so? What did she do to you?
Nothing.
What was your, like, was it more of like covert come at you, or did she actually say something to you where she was like kind of slick when you would pick me up or something?
I think if it wasn't FU energy and it was more so, sis, let me school you energy, she was right, because I was just like, look, first of all, when I became a single mother, I did not need his money. You were in private school.
Even when you were a single mother from the beginning.
Yeah, okay.
Like, why are we using this delusion?
I was gainfully employed.
Give me a moment, because when you were pregnant, one, was he checking on you, going to doctor's appointments? Mm-mm. Was he there when I was born?
Mm-mm. He came up there to sign the birth certificate.
That's it? Like for 30 minutes or less?
No, I wasn't even in the hospital anymore.
Oh, so like 4 or 5 days afterwards.
Yeah, he went up there to sign the birth certificate.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, anybody can make you feel
At least
emotions.
he signed the birth certificate, because, man, they didn't.
But why?
They had to find him.
And even you saying...
But these are two different versions of... No, but I'm saying...
Yeah.
These are two different versions of an absent father. So
exactly.
Her birth certificate has a blank where the father should be. Your birth certificate at least has a father there. So now we have two different levels of absent fatherism, is all I'm saying.
Well, exactly. But even for it to have an at least is kind of just sickening. Because why do we have to go so low?
Well, mom should have never been in those circumstances. So you are correct. We should not go that low.
No, I'm just saying, like, them, like, we as a society shouldn't be like, well, at least he signed it. Like, what do you mean at least he signed it? He came 5 days after I was born, and I'm supposed to be, like... And
yes,
he doesn't want me to know this information
because
if I ask him these questions,
Beach Mom doesn't know who her father is. At least she knows who her father is. So yes, there's a blank on her birth certificate, but now there's another level of absent fatherdom where you don't even know who your daddy is.
And it's a huge issue, which is so sad because...
Did y'all know it went this deep? Because I sure as hell didn't.
Well, that's why
I agree, Adoy. Oh, it is ADOI. Yes,
thank you.
Anita's agreeing with you.
Thank you.
This sis friend right here.
Hey, thank you. You know, I kind of just unboxing a lot of things at once, so like it's new to me as I'm speaking about it, but just to...
I had no idea.
Because you just said, now that you're a single parent, but you were a single parent the entire time.
But, so boom.
So were you delusional about it?
No. Single parentdom hit me when I financially could not afford being a single parent.
Okay.
As long as I financially... Like I said, I didn't need his money. I took that money and actually saved it. I took it and invested in your future, which was your education. And then when that wasn't, I put your money up. But when I had to start living off of the money and it became inconsistent, now I can't handle my business. I'm going to look at him because I was counting on that money. But what his mother said, but the way that she said it was because she was being a bitch, she would have been like, sis, you can't depend on this money. This is what she should have said. You can't depend on this money. When has he ever shown you consistency? Call a thing a thing. But she was like, you should be able to pay your bills. You don't stop waiting on that money. Why can't you pay your bills? That's your fault.
And it's like, lady, you've seen 2 generations worth prior ahead of you not be able to pay their bills because they don't have a father in the home. Why are you asking this idiotic question?
Yes.
This is
question.
Son, have you read a book, did a sight word, did some homework,
I hear
anything?
TV on.
Make yourself scarce because you ain't handling your business.
But what I mean is just like, what? Like, it's the same reason why every single mom before before Lonnie came.
But that's the point. I did not, and everybody's grammar, so there's levels of single momdom. I did not feel like I was a single mother until it financially became a burden for me. Otherwise, I was living my best life.
So
you were having
5 years,
themed birthday
6,
parties all the way up to Tri-City.
So 7. We'll say 7 because I moved. When I was 7? I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's low-key kind
Like,
of sad to think about.
If we actually sat down and dissect your childhood, you can start making sense of it, because it really wasn't. It was sad but it wasn't. Look, let's look at let's look at it from the positive. No one set me up for success.
Yeah.
I didn't have a mother.
Well, I feel like it's good.
My
because
father
I've always
was
looked at the
in the
positive.
house, okay? So I pulled myself out of that. I pulled myself out of being bounced from house to house. Yes, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, I'm like,
from
I'm about to
being,
cry.
I'm trying to hold it out. I'm trying to hold it back.
Like,
You know, hey Coco, you know, I come from being bounced from house to house to house to house. Yes, you went from roof to roof to roof to roof, but you had the same parent. And nothing changed for you. I had to adapt and figure it out and quick, because I'm only going to be in this room for a few minutes before they rip me out of this room and I got to go somewhere else. So I got us here. Not knowing that I got us here. Where can I get us now that I know that I got us here?
Exactly.
So it's not sad. It's
not
fucking
sad.
brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. Stop looking at your past like it's a shame. It's brilliant. You got yourself to wherever you're freaking at off of what you knew. And you didn't even know you knew it. You were just like, this don't make no sense.
Like this kid.
This don't make no sense.
Walking over to the bedroom.
Like, I'm going to serve a God that allows me to hate myself. I'm going to serve me a God that allows me to not be able to find somebody to love me and treat me like a decent human being. That's the God that I believe in. I just question that. I question that. And if that is God, strike me down. I don't want to be here no more.
You're hilarious.
I'm so serious. If this is it,
You said strike me down.
if this the big one, I'm ready to go. Like,
Listen, relax.
yeah.
It's not sad, but I feel like I've always looked at the good. And I never like sat down and thought about the stuff that isn't good about it.
I ain't seen you in so long, Coco, but you know I still quote you as my first teacher. I let everybody know. Coco let me know that you can actually sit down and have intellectual conversations with your spouse. I had no idea. But Coco was like, me and my husband sit and we strategize. I was like, that's possible? She was like, yes. I was like, say more. That's conversations with Coco. That's when I found out that men can think, because I didn't know it was possible. That's why I was so happy with my husband in the way that we communicated, because I didn't know it was possible. Like,
No.
I know there's intellectual ones, but I thought you had to go get an intellectual one to get it. Somebody who's on all the time. Like, I don't want to be on all the time.
Go outside in like 10 minutes.
Note to self. But I want to be able to chill like this. I don't want to be like, and the man said, all the goddamn time, you know, and the crystals and the berries all the time. Like, can we flow in and out of all of it? Like, it can all be for a purpose, but do we gotta be hard all the time?
I feel like we gotta not
It's an
put
act.
labels
It's an
on
act.
things, because I feel like if I were to start calling someone my friend or calling my boyfriend, they would feel like they have to act like a certain caliber of person.
Yeah, I know I can't see.
Like when they say friends and like men and women
Very
can't be
good
friends.
teaching, Coco, absolutely.
I just find it weird because friends are literally just people you have conversations with. And why can't you have not necessarily intimate conversations with men as a friend, but like if you're single, why can't you? Why is it an issue? Why do they always go back to human nature and how women and men can't be friends?
Anita said we want fairy tales, but that's not a reality. What do you say, Adoy? What do you say, audience? Is a fairy tale? What is a fairy tale? Because I do believe.
Well, fairy tale is what you see on TV. Literally every single story, every single one If you believe that your life can be what's on screen.
So I automatically jumped from what's literally in front of me, i.e. their happily ever after, because that's not my happily ever after. But I do believe my happy ever after is possible. I believe that I can have a husband that I thoroughly enjoy that makes me orgasm without any type of mental vision going on. Like, I believe that I can have a husband that makes me... I've had it, so I know it's possible. I've had, of all the men, because I dibbled and I dabbled. I didn't settle on one. I sampled them all. Now, I may have oversampled, but I sampled. And so I know that everything is possible. They all can do it. So I believe that I can pull it out of one.
Well, that's why that's why it's important to have one.
But he's got to be trainable, right? So he's got to be able to level up in every single area.
That's why they say to have one and to have like a man who's like God ordained.
I'm doing a lot. So God ordained, okay. I do believe that my husband is a man of God. I do not believe that my husband knows God.
So you just have to wait until that point.
So I have to wait for him to know God. And I know it's possible because everybody,
It's gonna be a hell of a wait though.
like Jesus said, girl, it's how long you want to ride with somebody, because it's not just how long he wants to stay, it's how long you want to stay. But what was I saying? I was reading the Bible today, Matthew, and Jesus said, don't go to the Gentiles. Go into the believers. Let me go get my Bible, because I actually marked it because I wanted to journal about it. But since we here, let's be here. Let's get some word in. Because, hold on, we about to go into my loud ass room. Son, you're supposed to be reading. You're supposed to be doing homework. Don't be waiting for me. You ain't got to wait for me. You are very comprehensive. I think that you can do something with yourself that does not involve your mama. I believe in you. Oh, Jesus. I hate the stuff they watch. Trust the process. Oh, because if you force your children to watch the things that you want them to watch, you're shaping their mind the way that you want their mind to be shaped, but their mind needs to be shaped the way that they want their mind to be shaped, because they know what they came to this earth to do. You don't. You're supposed to just allow in a healthy way. Let me get some light. Y'all know I can't see.
Look, and now they're posting.
New insult unlocked, cause sir what? Oh.
You don't think I can't see all the people there? But like we all just learn good things and not bad things.
All right, it says Jesus sends out the 12. This is Matthew 10. And I can't see. I need a new prescription. Hit the Cash App. Send sis some money so she could get some glasses, because I have developed nearsightedness looking at this phone. So now I can't see. It's literally blurry. Here we go. Jesus called his 12 disciples to him and gave them authority to drive out impure spirits, to heal every disease and sickness. Because prior, Jesus said, there's a lot of crowds, right? Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So he's like, yo, everybody needs help, but there's only one of me. So he was like, I'm going to need all y'all to get up on game, because I can't do this by myself. So Anita, Coco, I'm going to need y'all to get up on game, because I can't do this myself. This is the community. Do you see what we've been building here? Do you see the work is important? And it starts with you. It starts with your family. I'm not asking you to go out into the world and do what I do. Your job isn't my job, but your job is to change your family line. It is your job to change yourself generationally. So, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Get on your job. But anyway, It says, these are the names of the 12 apostles, and it goes into all the apostles. But it's so funny when they get to Judas, they be like, Judas Iscariot, or whatever, Iscariot, who betrayed him. I was like, don't forget that mark. Oh, Judas looking behind. All right, but then it says, these 12 Jesus sent out with the following instructions. Do not go among the Gentiles or enter any town of the Samaritans. Go rather to the lost sheep of Israel, which means my people, the lost ones. The ones that wandered off and didn't realize they wandered off. You think you know, but you don't know. As you go, proclaim this message. The kingdom of heaven has come near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely you give. What this says to me, we're not looking literally at leprosy, raising the dead, all of these things, healing sick. We can't look at like healing sick. No. Sickness manifests in so many different ways. Death manifests in so many different ways. Demons and entities and lower vibrational thought processes manifest in different ways. We have to stop looking so literal. And us as the followers of God, whatever your pathway, I'm sure your holy scripture says as well, you need to go out and go find my lost sheep and bring them home. God does not call you to go and convert anyone. So every single one of you that go into these woo-woos rooms and you're in there like, in the blood of Jesus, if it's not Jesus, confess it's Jesus. Jesus didn't ask you to do that. That is your own agenda. Jesus said, go find my lost sheep. And as you bring them home, through your demonstration, through your walk, you will turn everybody else the way they need to turn. And then the ones who follow trend will see the trend. So everyone will flip, but you must demonstrate first. Start at home. So when I tell y'all ain't in this community, stop playing in my face. If you are not flipping your family, why are you here? I can't be that entertaining. I know I attribute complete life changes to every single one of you. I can tell you how you changed my life. Anita, you taught me I can teach. You come in here with my apples. You come in here talking about, I got my pen and paper, my notebook, I'm ready for school. You taught me that, yeah, Donna was a teacher, but sis said she here to learn. So actually I am. So it's like when I was doing the art and the art taught me so much. I was like, yeah, with the apples. When I said the art, I made all those pieces. The art taught me so much. I forgot, my bad. But the art taught me so much. So everything teaches me. Class is in session. Let's get this knowledge, because we've got work to do. You are the last of your family line that is unaware. Ignorance dies with you. And remember, I told you the last live we were on, because I went live the other day and I'm going live now, but I'm not really live, friend. But thank you for sharing the live. But I don't really go live. But, people need to know when I go live, because why are we missing this information? Like, this is life-altering information. This is family tree-altering information. You get this knowledge in you and you understand, oh, this is why I'm stuck on my absent father.
It's more for you to also think for yourself. Branch off of what you hear from other people. You don't have to just listen to lying. Like, when I talk to my mom, it's more of just like, what is my opinion on what she says? And how can I agree, or how can I Because it's rare that I disagree with you, but it's why do I agree?
Also, in the agreement, we are building upon a concept.
Yeah.
So,
which is what they should be doing with their families.
exactly. Because it's not for me to agree with you. It's not for you to agree with me. To disagree means you're not able to see my perspective. Because you don't have to. People think if you don't see someone's perspective, you can't agree with them. Let me figure out the language for this, because I see what you're saying, but I also see it another way. I don't know what the language is to say it. I don't have to agree with what you're saying, but I understand what you're saying. Agreement and understanding are two different things.
Yeah. But I feel like, just as a statement, I feel like I agree with a lot of what
But
you
you
said.
can also challenge to a doy which you have.
You're saying, exactly.
These kids stay challenging me.
People don't play by play.
Disrespectful.
You guys have seen
They talking back.
what I actually am doing. And it's not just me like, okay, Mom, that's right. Okay, Mom, that's right. And Mom, you sound wrong. Stop saying that. Like, it's never like that. It's actually
And
a
y'all
conversation.
should see her judge me. The way she, like she smells something stinky. She's like,
And it's funny.
and then she'll side eye me. She's like,
And it's funny, I'll do it in conversation with my coworkers. I'm like, stop, baby, stop. Because, like, these are regular people. You can't treat them this way.
watch y'all's kids. I don't care how old they are. If they don't want to disrespect you or they just don't want the conversation, watch them. When they disagree with you, they'll be like,
Literally, when you started talking about orgasm, I was like, okay, Mom.
oh, because I was talking to the audience.
Exactly, but, like, at first, it seemed like you were talking to me. And
But
then
you
went
should
back
know
to them.
this too. You should know this. You
Yeah,
know,
that's why I was
depending
silent.
on, and you said, why do people make self-pleasure such a bad thing? Because some people's origins aren't innocent. Some people's origins are because they watched some video somewhere and now they're addicted to corn.
Right, or their cousin told them to watch it.
Yeah, so now we're at the infancy of an addiction. And so even how you approach catching your child watching corn, you are potentially cementing in an addiction or preventing an addiction. Because if you like, that's bad, 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 some kids will do it simply because you told them no and in defiance.
That's like in movies where it'll be like people have magazines underneath their bed or something.
So it's defiance. It's a F-U.
Yeah, like it's not because people don't know it's
It
bad.
was like too far. We're not talking about the O's, but it's learning indeed.
Yeah.
Hedonism. I think it's
Hedonism.
called pursuing pleasure only.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that's why it's important to know what you're talking about, because there's names to everything.
That's why I like you smart people. Because I just be running my mouth and y'all be like, you know, hedonism. I didn't know there was a word. And I'll probably forget it after this.
It's like
But one day it'll stick, and the next time I hear it, I'll know I heard it from Coco first. You heard it here, folks. Hedonism.
it just throws everything into like a category. Like
Yeah.
if you have these behaviors, you're a hedonist.
Well, that's just what. So here's God is rooting back to sexism. Was that the topic? God is rooting back to sexism. And she was like, actually, that's not sexism, that's feminism. And she was like, you need to look up. Now, her energy was stank.
Right? I'm like, oh.
So this is going back to your grandmother. Her energy was stank, but she was still delivering knowledge. Hey, sis, you should also look up this, and this. So, like you said, everything gets grouped together. Black people just get grouped together. We all just get grouped together, and our brilliance is lost in that grouping. Whatever our brilliance is, this isn't the only brilliance. The ability to bulk your body up naturally and you don't need drugs is a skill that some of our people have.
There's a million and one skills.
The ability to heal is a skill that our people have. We have all these skills that are grouped into this social economical space to where we don't even try to tap into those gifts because we're just trying to survive. And we think we're all just black people. My gift is different than your gift, but guaranteed you have a gift if you haven't identified it already.
I'm just happy that there are people out there that believe that they do have gifts instead of me sounding crazy.
I know.
Cause like, imagine you running around saying that you have superpowers. I'm like, shut up, you're black. Shut up, you're regular. Shut up, all these things.
Oh, hold up. I've got to verify myself. This might be my third and final try. Oh, whew. I was scared.
You scared? I thought it was like a restriction.
No, I had to match the thing, but I kept missing it. I was like, how many chances do I get? Lord, this is the third try. Don't take my life.
Right. But it's important to have a conversation with your people and grow minds around you. Shoot, go grow your aunt. You don't have to grow your mom, but you can grow your aunt. You can grow your brother. You don't have to grow your kids first off bat because those are kind of more... I mean, you should grow your kids, of course. But I feel like if you're moving into like a new space of learning, you shouldn't influence your kids as you're learning in case it's not your path. Yeah? No, you don't.
Well, you're the one that messed your kids up. So if you're learning something to unmess your kids up.
But I feel like we should wait until...
Well, Jesus says start at home. So because I read that in scripture today, and I just read it, start at home. So that right there, I'm going to go start at home. But, I had to heal myself first to know how to heal you. If I go and heal people out there, do you understand that I touch people on a daily basis where I will have no idea that I literally changed their family line?
And that's what I mean. More of like, work your magic out there before you know. Honestly, I don't know. Because that kind of sounds like I'm advising people to harm others before they harm their families, but that's not what I mean. I mean more of, if you're uncertain of the effects of this project, why would you taint your entire family with it?
Because who are you going to experiment on? I would rather experiment on... I literally almost lost my husband in this experimentation. I was willing to release... Look, what is the goal? My goal is to figure out how to save the black family. Right. So I'm willing to sacrifice my family. This is MLK. He was willing to sacrifice his physical life. I was willing to sacrifice my marriage to figure out how to make a marriage work because I would rather be divorced than be unhappy for the rest of my life.
That's important to live your life.
And I wasn't unhappy. Remember, I didn't start messing with shit until I became unhappy. And I was like, well, no, I was happy, so we're going to get happiness back. How am I going to get happy in this marriage again? And I was willing to be separated I wouldn't have been unhappy. And I didn't have a mother. So I don't know what a mother-daughter relationship looks like.
But you shouldn't be demonized for the one you do have. Or the ones that you do have.
Oh, I love my mom.
No, I'm saying you shouldn't be demonized for the ones that you do have. I.e., you and I, Angel and you.
No, I love my relationships today, but...
No, I'm saying, like, people have tried to make you feel bad for your relationships.
Okay. Yes. I don't care what people think about me on any level. It's to a dangerous degree that I really don't care what people think about me. Because
but when it's positive, do you care or do you just not care?
There will come a time where I don't care, and this is where the 4 agreements... Coco, did you finish reading that? This is where the 4 agreements says nothing's good, nothing bad, it just is. So there will come a space in my journey where I will not seek that. I have no idea why I'm sitting like this.
Right? Like, no,
because this is yeah, I'm like, why am I pimp leaning?
It doesn't feel good. So I told you, young buck. Wait, no, I'm gonna force this back. I'm
gonna come to a place in my evolution where I won't feed off of confirmation if I'm doing what I think I'm doing. Right now, I'm running tests. I'm in the experimental phase. Trinity was asking me, how's your latest experiment going? I'm experimenting with life. Give me some goddamn feedback. I'm fucking with you. How am I doing? So I'm learning how to distance. This is called distance learning. If we didn't know what this was, do we wait until we pay $20 for a credit hour? Hit my Cash App. This is called distance learning. I'm fucking with you right now, and I'm just realizing that, so it's not like, I've been fucking with you for 2 years. No, I'm just now realizing that I am learning how to teach people through video so that people are truly unlocking themselves and learning.
And that's the difference between you and a preacher, and that's why I feel like they're upset with a lot of people having a voice on the internet. Because you listen to so many different people, they can contradict, but also it's not.
And they'll see the sham.
Yeah, it's not telling you that God, like, you don't need bright lights, church choir, right? You don't need piano on entrance. Like, you don't need all these things to get the message out. And that's what,
especially if people are still dying.
Yeah, unfortunately. And that's where it becomes like a mental battle for me. Like, do you try, do you not try? Because trying is living a life like Dr. King, but not trying is just accepting what you've given, and
Yeah. And there's so many people
but they're both uncomfortable. Now, Dr. King didn't live a comfortable life. Well, not comfortable meaning like he was still experiencing grievances.
He was suffering with depression.
Exactly. So he was still upset and unhappy.
So he believed in a God that allowed for that.
Which, I mean, and he had to know, or he had to trust himself to know that his impact, because him dying is the impact as well. For him to die is why we got so many of our, he's being talked about today, and we have so much information on him. But if he didn't die, imagine how his story and how much more work he might have to do.
He was flaming out bad before he died. Like, he had rode his wave. As far as popularity is concerned, his impact, per my understanding, y'all join in. They said absolutely adore with your little fan club looking ass. Can you agree with me, Anita? We've been riding. I introduced you to her, and now you go ahead, Adoy. Say word. Yeah. Adoy is spitting like her mama right now. Okay, boom. Is there ever going to be a time where I don't need no feedback, Anita? No.
If Adoy's correct, Lonnie's correct.
No, but King, I think, faltered because, don't come in here with that mess. Because, look, we only know to refine ourselves as much as we know to refine ourselves. I only speak to the degree that I speak because the men in my life kept telling me it's not what you say, it's how you say it. He said, Paris said, I liked what you said until the end. You always trying to sneak this. And so even though, okay, old fat muff, I got something for that ass, the dozens.
Right.
I was like, he's still telling me I actually can have impact, especially with a black man, if I would leave the little slick stuff at the end. Like, no, actually, I get a lot of things right.
Yeah, you gotta stop acting like people are stupid, because those types of things are for stupid people to fall for.
You gotta stop acting like black men are stupid.
Ooh, that's strong, because not necessarily that we've been told, because I'm not physically told that black men aren't smart, but I've been told that black men receive less opportunities, or black men physically chase lustful tendencies, or black men they play sports and then they injure their brains and stuff. So it's just all these things where it's kind of just like, well, what I see, call it what it is,
So if we're sitting in a position understanding that we're our own God, which means your God is as powerful as you believe your God is. My God does not allow for depression. I don't know what your God does. But in your respect, will the black man become what the black woman believes that he is? Because right now the black woman believes that he is all the things that you described. Right. So now if the black woman elevated her as a collective, elevated their,
projecting.
because as a collective, we all see black men as this. What you describe is what I describe, is what she describes, or what we describe. So as a collective, I know that we can also believe another identity for the black man. And because of that, when a black man comes to us as these things, we already know this is not the black man that I believe in, therefore I reject you. And as a black man gets rejected by a black woman, his mother, he will try to please her, the mother wound. He will try to please the woman as he has tried to please his mother. That's why you raise a son to please you, not so you can date your son, but so he can please his wife, which means she is taking care of your son and raising your legacy.
I just don't.
The woman raises your legacy.
It's just really upsetting that people are able to ruin other people's lives. Not ruin them, because everything's for a purpose, but like, imagine a mom stunts her son's growth, and then now he has horrible relationship, like, ideologies, and just, he doesn't carry himself well because he's a wounded masculine. And that goes back to what I said yesterday, how the people in the media, all the men who are the faces of these things, these rappers, these ball players, they're all fatherless. So you're idolizing wounded people. Like, you're not, these are people who are acting like they're hard with these guns and these drugs and having all this money because they sell destruction and these issues to mass people. And that's why they're up. They're not up because they're providing for family. That's why people are so astonished when these rappers go back to where they're from and drop 10K, or they give the kids some meals and get their hair done or something.
So what God is telling me while you're saying that is, I am a motherless, fatherless child.
No.
And I serve God. And I lead people along the pathway back to their God knowing. So, yes, these people are idolizing wounded people. I'm as wounded as it gets. It is the fruit.
Exactly. It's what you do with your platform.
They're not leading people to God. They're leading people away from God. And so now you know, yes, this individual is wounded, which is what I identify with. I attracted to you because me too, sis. Now you're attracting to me for other reasons. You're attracting to me, one, because I'm your mother and you don't really have a choice. But as you begin to trust me, because there's different attraction points. You know what I'm saying? Like, you and I there was a point in time in our relationship where she's my mom. But now you're like
a trustworthy person. Like, I will talk to you because you're trustworthy. You're not trying to manipulate how I feel about things.
And so that's an attraction point.
Right.
You know, so we're accumulating all these different attraction points, and I forgot my point.
These being wounded individuals, and these people having platforms,
Yes.
and not helping people, hurting them instead.
So people need to look at the fruit. What we're chasing is people with large numbers. We're chasing people who have this lifestyle. We're chasing, like, Jules is 1 foot, and I don't know why I keep talking about this individual. Jules, get some help, friend.
Yeah, I was about to say that. What if I was thinking, like, what if she dies? Like, that's what I was thinking. But you said get some help.
Spirit is telling me to get some help. You got everything that you were praying for, and you got it all at once, and you just are you are spinning. And I know I feel crazy talking like I know your life. But at some point, I got to start delivering these messages, right?
And even on that, it's just like, you do know these people's lives. Like I say, you talk to one person, you talk to one person, you talk to one person. You get so many different archetypes, so many different life experiences. People learn from other people.
So you see where this is headed when you're unprepared.
Yeah. And
Get some help.
That's like watching TV. You're like, oh my God, I know she's going to die from the ass shots. I know, like, why would she do? Like,
Yeah.
you're foreshadowing everything. It's just like, stop.
Yes,
So
and
that's
you can foreshadow life.
Exactly. And then people be like, you don't know me. Well, you're rehearsing the same story that's been played so many times, and it's okay. Just admit it before you get lost in it.
So Anita said when we were talking about the men get away with what they get away with for so long without pushback, so they stay stuck. And it's because their moms don't ever want to correct them.
Yeah.
That's my baby.
And that's why I was upset, because it's just like,
Correct
you're
that
stunting
little
them.
Guess what? These boys, they love my dirty draws. and I stay on their asses. Stays on their asses. I'm in a first grade classroom right now on their asses. And they every day, all day long, they're like, I want to go home. I want to go home. And then when it's time to go home, they're like, bye, Miss Taylor. I'm like, yeah. I'm like Miss Miss Nelson. I'm Miss Nelson. Like, they can't stand my butt, but I'm actually Miss Cherry.
Michael.
Yeah.
Can you get Miss Trunchbull?
Miss Trunchbull was terrible.
Okay, I was like, who's Miss Nelson?
Miss Nelson, there were a series of books, and she was a witch. She had on the black dress and had the witch's nose. So she was a nice teacher. I'm making this up, but she was a nice teacher. The kids took her for granted, so she turned into a witch. And when they were like, oh, and then Miss Cherry came back, I believe.
Can you feed the dogs?
Adoy is paying attention at an early age. She's ahead of the game. Man, I got this little lady. Yes, she said it's Miss Nelson. You remember those books? Man. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Like, Adoy was talking about when she talks to Angel and she runs into a wall with Angel and she's like, dang it. You know, I was the same way with Adoy. Like, when I was teaching Adoy how to speak to me, and I've been working, I know that I've been working on being able to talk to her since she was like 14. And I would run into this wall because she would show so much promise. And I'm like, and she didn't respond on some kitty shit. And I'm like, fuck. And I would get so mad at her because she couldn't talk to me, not knowing, like, you know, these kids, he'll go in and out of Michael. He'll go in and out of Michael, you know. But he'll start delivering messages. Then he'll go back into Michael. Then he'll start delivering messages. And then he'll go back into Michael. And I understand that, but that's what Adoy was doing. But I didn't understand it, and I would get so frustrated. So I have been working on her since she was 14, knowingly, to get her to, because, you know, it's a lonely world when you can't talk on this level. Y'all know.
And
Go ahead.
You gotta have time for people. And it's easier if it's like your family members instead of like your friends online, like Miss Coco or I don't know who else is on the live right now, but you gotta talk to them in their time and they gotta talk to you in your time. You can't talk whenever you want to talk.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about having friends on their time. Because I went to church with my friend. So I was talking about my God exposure. And then and I'll just end it here. When I got here at a particular institution, I won't say the name publicly anymore, but when I got to a particular institution, that's where my perversion of God started. You know, God was a pimp. God was this big punisher. God was a sugar daddy, sorry. God was a sugar daddy in the respect that, help me, I need money to pay my bills. And here God goes with his extra 50 for you. You know, like God's a sugar daddy out here, you know. The ideology that God's this big punisher and really sitting there counting my number of sexual partners. God does not care who you sleep with. You know, my God. I don't know what your God believes in. My God could care less now.
Well, that's the idea of a repentance. I just don't like when people are in other people's like lives. I just wish people like, I don't know. It just bothers me when people ask those types of questions. It's kind of invasive.
Well, here we are. God doesn't care how many people you sleep with, but your body is your temple. So now you're letting all these energies into your body.
But you shouldn't allow someone else's projection shouldn't make you feel shamed. And I think that's what people's projections do.
Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm saying it has nothing to do with how many people I'm sleeping with in the idea that God is watching. That is people's projections.
It's about
I don't care. It's about me allowing these men to enter my vessel. And what do I deserve? Now we're going into self-worth. Now, if church tied in self-worth and actually grew me as a woman, I stopped being a O, not because church stopped me from being an O. I stopped being a O because I realized a little bit more of my self-worth. Sleeping around is not going to get me what I want. It's got me momentarily, whatever, you know, but it never got me what I want. This is what I want. Right now, I'm doing exactly what I want. I wouldn't have anything different except for I would actually have food in my refrigerator. That's the only thing that I would do different. Well, I would do a lot different. I would be in a different house. I would have, the whole, visualize. But what I'm saying is, I'm not sitting here wishing anything. Like, I'm not actively wishing anything was different than I would love to be snacking on some fruit right now. I would like to have a good meal between us right now. That's the one thing that I would alter. Otherwise, I'm talking to my best friend. My son's chilling right there. The dog's chilling. The vibe is right, Ain't nothing wrong except for I would like to have a nice meal between me and my kid, so.
I want some burritos.
Right? No, I want something good. I want something healthy. I'm so ready to put life into my body. I hate eating the way that I eat.
Yeah, I don't like that fast food stuff.
Yeah, but it really perverted God for me when I started going to church. Not that I really had, because I was looking for God to define church for me. I did not know.
They call him Sky Daddy.
Yeah. I did not know, and I did not want to. I was lazy about my learning. I don't want to learn about things that I want to learn about.
That's kind of where I'm at, kind of. Like, I'm not necessarily lazy, but high school kind of like burnt my receptors to ever looking at what someone else wants to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll look at something because I want to learn it, but I'm not going to tell people to look at something because I want to learn it, but also I'm not learning anything because you want me to look at it.
So that's the next level, because what God has been teaching me is the difference between someone who can tell you where they found something in a book and somebody who just went through the process is somebody who values knowing where they're getting the information. But because we are forced to go through these systems, unless we are someone who actually values where we got the information, we actually have to develop the skill, because knowing where we got the information, we can go back and get the information and build upon the information. Also, or we can cite the source, or all these different things that we can do with actually knowing this is the date, this is the person, this is the time, that that's valuable information. Sexism, feminism, black feminism, and whatever the other womanism, those are very important differentiators. But I've never learned, so now I must develop the skill to remember, like flashcards, like making flashcards. That's how I'm able to remember minute details. But I didn't realize I was teaching myself to remember minute details. I was just remembering the detail to pass the test. But I need to know the actual skill that I'm developing is remembering minute details, and then I'll start picking up minute details.
Which is why I don't know, just the whole school process is quite questionable, because
it's a brain shut-off
it's like
process.
Half of it is you need it. Like, okay, note-taking, you need that.
That is how... I'm going to cut you off real quick, and I'm just say that's how they're teaching to them, and they're not teaching us.
Exactly.
They know that they're developing. Look at their success rate, because they keep schedules, because they structure, because all these things that they're teaching them in school. We're missing all of that because we're focused on the academics.
Exactly.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
And that's what I was really about to say.
We're supposed to focus on both, but go ahead.
You're funny.
I don't want people to be like, I'm not supposed to. No, you better get A's and B's or see me.
Well, that's the thing, is just like, you gotta play your role. You gotta, like, I don't know how to explain it, because I kind of gave up senior year. But before that point, I made sure I had the grade, so I didn't hear anything from
Girl,
my
didn't
mom.
you make honor roll in the senior year? Like, that blew my mind. I was like, this sis, y'all. Let me tell y'all how y'all needs to be playing in my face. She said, Mom, I'm going to make honor roll. I was like, all right. And then she makes honor roll. And I was like, sis, if you could just, I'm going to make honor roll effort, like, I'm going to make honor roll and do it. Like, why the fuck have you not been doing it?
Right. Well, that's the thing, is just...
Good live as always. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you,
okay,
thank you,
ladies, love you guys. I got to go. Blessings.
Have a great night. Be safe.
Yes.
Please.
But yeah, we can go. I've enjoyed you guys.
Me too.
Not too good talks.
You gotta move on to something else.
Yeah.
The sun went down.
The sun went down, and I'm gonna go in my room and watch me some Tyler Perry. I'm watching Greenleaf, Tyler Perry. The Walking Dead has kind of taken a backseat. There's something else.
You watching the Zodiac?
In the Zodiac thing. So I'm watching a nice little bevy. I wonder what God is cooking
There's
up
a
with
lot.
this exposure.
I took a break from Girlfriends. I was watching BMF. Right? BMF and Girlfriends are two different things.
Yes, but you're in the hood right now. Why the heck are you studying the hood?
I
am too. Tyler
Yeah.
Perry got me
And-
studying the hood and the
yeah.
elite because I just watched this show on the fall of the House of Usher. The fall of the House of Usher is an elite family, pharmaceutical family, and it's really, really good. Because they make a deal with the devil, but they don't know it's the devil until they wipe out the entire bloodline.
Dang.
But like the game they're spitting, like when the conversations they're having, the game that they are spitting, and I'm just like, okay.
And it's just a script, but really,
Yeah, because they got to make it realistic.
yeah, people are living these lives, and that's why it's believable when it's just one thing instead of a whole multitude of issues. And you're like, well, this isn't realistic. Well, no, if you take one at face value, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, and even though it's streaming across, this is why Tyler Perry's characters are one-dimensional. Even though it's streaming across multiple days, it's still the same character that's being developed over this short amount of time. So this character can't really do all of this because you can't get a hold of the character, because by the time you get a hold of the character, the show's over, but the character's been up, down, unless they're a manipulator within their character role, so they gotta be up and down. Or it's that type of movie where they're showing you, like, Dr. King at home is different than Dr. King on stage, is different than, so they're going to show you the multi-dimensions of those. But if I just got to show you how just disgusting this person is, every time you see them, they have to be acting disgusting. Yeah. So I can understand that in Tyler Perry's writing.
Which sucks, though, because it's just like, why do they have screen time? Get back to the plot.
Yeah.
Like that Roy guy, the husband that's cheating.
Yeah.
He's played out. Next, that's like the typical macho man.
As soon as the gay brother popped on the scene, I was like, what is his role?
Literally.
I was like, you just insert random gay.
And if we're going off that, please just let it be known. Like, instead of just planting them in every plot line.
Yeah.
Every plot line has that token gay or token lesbian. Their family doesn't like them because they're gay or they're lesbian. It's just like, can we get over this issue?
Yeah, can they just be a person on the screen and then we find out that they're gay because we see their spouse?
That?
And like, oh, okay.
That's what they, remember the Fosters with the two ladies and the kids? Like, that was a wholesome lesbian show. That
wasn't like, hey guys, we're lesbian.
And then bumping coochies on the...
Be quiet, child.
I'm sorry, but they're... You know how gross that is that they...
Yes, I hate
And
it.
you can't watch these...
And they don't even do the females. It's all the men. They don't ever see women. Have you seen women on network TV?
It probably kills purity complex.
They kiss.
It's probably like they don't want to see women...
But ain't that something? We can watch men
Men are
simulate, but we
aggressive.
can't see women simulate.
That's interesting. Or we see men and women simulate.
Because men's simulation is just
Aggression.
doggy style.
Yeah.
Like, they can do it other ways. I just found out in my recent years that they can do it other ways. I did not know that. Because they only simulate, and I'm not a connoisseur, so I don't know, doggy style. And now we're looking at how male-female have sex. It is doggy style. Men and women don't scissor. So to simulate female would be a shock to our system.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, it breaks the purity. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not normal to them.
Yeah, and then that's going to now bleed over into the corn industry. And so even though they act like they don't want the corn industry, they understand that they're gateways, and I'm sure the same people that...
T.D. Madison, wasn't she or they in Korn?
I don't know, I'm not that much of a fan, so you would know.
When you said their name, I was like, oh, you know their name. Because basically...
That was Kaya's friend, that's how I know her.
Who?
My bad. They used to work together. That's how I know her.
Well, there's this video. There's a couple memes of T.D. Madison but basically they're naked.
Oh, okay.
And so it's just like,
Are they done up? Are they natural? What's going on down there? They're like,
it's a man. It's a man.
still a man down there?
Well, the video is however old, so I don't know. They might be done up now that they're on freaking Netflix with
Right?
Tyler Perry.
Right? Tyler Perry checks.
Right? Shoot.
We getting Tyler Perry checks?
Good luck to TD. But seeing that, I'm just thinking that they might have got TD from porn and not from positive, casting calls. Just like, oh.
Could be.
And that's what they're doing these days, because some of them are dual. Some of them are spicy workers, and some of them, I don't know, man. It's a crazy world.
It's a crazy world. I was about to say that. I just think I grew up in that, but it was more covert.
Yeah, no, there's a place that you go for those types of things. You can't go, like I was about to say, you cannot watch any of these shows with your family because there's a sex scene in it. And not because sex is bad, because it's not. And I feel like we gotta stop preaching that to people that it's bad. But it's uncomfortable. It's not cool to they're huffing and puffing and I'm just watching it with my mom.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it. Unless I'm attempting to enter into a particular headspace, I don't want to watch it. I fast forward past it. That's weird watching people
without
in the throes.
You don't want that.
Yeah, and so, I'm okay with implied. As soon as they start making out rough, I know what's next. Next scene.
Right, or they can just talk about it. Even when they talk about it, it's cringy.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah, I have no interest for it, but, I see...
you just gotta teach the kids the right way to handle these situations.
Which I don't know. I'm working to heal my trauma so that I can help navigate my children, because I know you have some sort of exposure to trauma that you'll probably, you maybe not having enough experiences gives you an opportunity to not add on to the trauma.
That's what
but I'm sure you have had some sort of, we don't know what's related, and I don't want to put something on you, but I do know I need to learn how to fix myself so that I can help you prevent and to help me or help my children avoid, and just to help humanity stop passing trauma down to each other, because we may not know that we're traumatizing each other.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. We're I'm not hurting myself by being alone, so
yeah.
I don't want to cause issues for myself by being alone. That's why I do want to be friends with people, and I want to get a lot out of this friendship, not just, hey. What's a hey? I need to know why you think the way you do. Yeah. And it's not me trying to people automatically think if you want more information on them, then you're going to do something bad to them, or you have ill intent, or you're just creepy and weird.
I don't know if I'll ever find another you unless I create it with my other three.
You might. I don't know. Because what are you seeing in me? Is it because I'm young? I don't understand.
You don't have any limitations.
Limitations, you said?
Yeah. I have not run into a block with you yet.
Which is good. I like this.
And so, with most people, I'll run into a block. Because even with...
And it might be a relationship. I don't know.
The same name as my cousin. You with me?
Yeah.
Even with that relationship, I've hit a block. Because I need something. Well, I have what I want. And this person can give me some of what I want, but they can't give me all of what I want, which means I have to go elsewhere. You can't give me all of what I want too, but you are available to give me all that I want when I make it available to us to have. You'll travel with me when travel's available. You'll go shopping with me when shopping's available. You'll go out to eat with me when going out to eat. You're my everything. Right. And I'm not saying...
my everything.
I'm not saying I want that...
After we saw that video. On my timeline. I was like, get this soulful stuff off.
I'm not saying that I want people outside of my family to be my everything. What I'm saying is I don't think that I'm going to find that outside of my family. And maybe I shouldn't want that outside of my family because that's a lot. That's a lot to be someone's everything.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like that loyalty has to be there always, even if I'm mad at you. It's not that I go out your business to the world. Mm-hmm. You can't get that guarantee from anybody.
Nope.
You better hope it's your blood. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's
like I'm that type of person where like all that stuff that happened to me with like Tyrese and all that stuff. It's just like I could have paraded to everybody and be like, these people are horrible and these people are bad and you guys shouldn't ever talk to them. And I could have been that person to like, you know, expose them. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, why? It's not my job to be that person and to kick up more dust.
It's actually just gonna kick the dust back on you.
Right? For letting it happen.
No, because at the end of the day, you don't answer to me and you answer to God. Again, it's not about optics. Because now we're going back to God caring about who you're sleeping with. God don't care who you're sleeping with. People care about who you're sleeping with. God cares about you honoring your temple. You're not honoring your temple. Why are you dishonoring yourself? Why are you allowing these things to happen to you? Where is your self-love? That's what God cares about.
Exactly.
So now we're going back to whatever we were talking about before. What were we talking about?
Let's keep going around, pick it up.
Whatever we were talking about before, because you were talking about Ty and how...
If I were to expose the situation.
If you were to expose the situation, who cares what the people think about you exposing the situation? God wants to know why you're moving in deception. Why are you trying to tear another human down?
Right.
Why is it making you feel better about yourself, or is it just matching pain for pain? I want someone to feel I'm in pain. Why are you in such pain if that is the case? Why do you allow yourself to be in this space of pain? Where is the love? Do you see how it keeps reading back to the love? Now, why, if it's not about the pain, you're not in pain, you just want to tear somebody down. Why do you want to tear somebody down? Why is that going to bring you joy? Yeah. Why do you find joy in bringing someone else pain? Where is the love?
That kind of reminds me of that Zion situation.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel bad about it because like I haven't seen that boy since.
Yeah.
But just to know that other people knew that something, because about 15 people know that I did that. And plus people he told. But obviously he's embarrassed. So to double underscore, if he's like, Bailey posted this video of me doing X, Y, and Z, they can be like, what the heck, dude? But like, and then they'll be like, oh, that's wrong. But since we're in the climate and the age group we're in, they're going to turn heads at him before they turn heads at me. Because they're like, well, you should have seen it too, right? You know, all this stuff, all these excuses. But in reality, I should have asked, why do I feel I need to have one up on this boy? Why do I feel like he needs... I don't know. I feel like I had to teach him a lesson, I will say.
Some people, you just like, you ready to take it up with God. Some stuff, I'm like, I'm about to take my L, God, because petty boots.
Like, but at the same time, that wasn't the situation for me to do. I came out first as a friend, and then I flipped the script once it didn't seem like it helped. Because basically, he was sneaking out with other people in the friend group, throwing rocks at cars and stuff. And I was like, that's going to get you killed. Like, what are you doing? And then over in his mind, he's like, this girl's overreacting. Her brother just died, so of course she's on edge. Who cares? It's not like that, Bailey. It's not that serious. Then it turned into like him like not being addicted, but at school, in high school, freshmen. Imagine how, like, I'm about to break this down for you because freshmen in high school are 14 and 15-year-olds. He's getting weed, like little cartridges from another 14 or 15-year-old at school. He's buying them from them. We don't know what's in those cartridges because we're 14 and 15. Shoot, they might have gotten from their older cousin or something. Like, our best hope is that they got it from an older person. But 9 times out of 10, we don't know where it came from. So it could be just...
So you're thinking on levels that these children are not thinking on.
But for me to think at that level and then flip the entire situation into me being spiteful because he wasn't listening, then it makes me look like a bad guy.
So you attacked him because he wasn't listening to you?
Basically what happened was I told his mom, and then he went, and I guess his mom didn't take his phone or anything, and he was like starting to post old like cringy photos of me because like this is my best friend.
Okay,
so
I remember.
he's trying to expose me now, and like make me feel bad. Oh, you're a snitch.
Oh.
Oh, you're a snitch. This and that, trying to like egg at me.
Yeah.
No, dude, I was
understand.
looking out for you, but now I'm mad because now you're trying to make me look bad.
Yeah.
And at that time, I actually felt bad if someone posted a bad photo of me or something. Like stuff like I only felt bad because that's what they tell us to feel. Because I don't feel that way today, and who cares?
Yeah.
But it got to me there. I'm like, oh, I'll show you. You want to post stuff that's cringy? I'll post something that you don't want people to see.
Okay, so I understand that perspective. So now I'm going to fast forward you to 2024. You, how would you respond to that?
I would just be like, all right, man, good luck.
Okay.
I would probably be like, I'll probably explain deeper. Like, hey, street drugs, because his argument was like, well, you smoked weed before I did, so how are you get to, like, you can't be the one to police me. And it's like, okay. So it's just like, I probably would have been like, hey.
Wouldn't it be crazy if you see Zion and he walks up and his lips are all black and he's just looking all smoked out and like...
I'd be so sad if he acted that way.
Yeah.
Or he looked that way. Because it's the same kid that got hit by a car.
I remember.
Yeah, so like, I had a lot of emotions towards this kid just because that's just, he was my friend. And I have not necessarily unhealthy boundaries, but I've been allowed to act the way that I do because people allowed it and they reciprocated and they gave me what I wanted for me to act that way. So, I mean, I was like, when mom didn't check it, I'm like, well, dang. Okay, well, that was fine. So when he started posting stuff about me, I probably would have just blocked him or something because I would have knew he's just doing it to retaliate because he's upset.
Yeah.
That's like with Michael's friend being like, oh, your mom, because you told on her to her mom about how she speaks about her language. And now she's mad at you. Well, not mad, but you know what I mean. Like she has like a little grudge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably would have just been like, all right, man.
I was thinking middle school, high school, elementary. It's such a small world. And so a lot of people do things just to keep stability, any type of stability in their world. So to actually take a stand, like to be like, no, you guys have been drinking your gallon of tequila all night. I'm not going to get in the car. Oh my God, man. Like all of that. So you would rather get in the car and risk your life against your better judgment.
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, nothing's going to happen.
And that's the thing, is that we bank so hard on that 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, and that one time. But the thing is, we try to maintain our social status over standing up for what's right. You know, so we're willing to...
Put the dog back in the room, please.
I'm about to put it outside.
He was just outside.
We just need to teach our
We
children
just ate.
to not care. Like, who cares if you walk down the hallway and kids start whispering? Like, that shit does not matter. I walked into school after that. When I told them 5th graders I'm never subbing for the 5th grader again, the next day I was subbing and the 5th graders were like, like looking at me whispering like, sis, I'm a grown ass woman.
Right? Who?
You know, but whatever you're whispering about, guess what? Y'all can keep whispering. I don't care. Like, and it has to be, and I get it. You have to sit in class with these people, but if it doesn't bother you, it gets old.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
I'm sorry.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like,
I'm sorry.
The emotions that are evoked, anybody can make you feel like you're left out. Anyone can create that FOMO, and you shouldn't be fearing missing out on that. You can die. And like, this is the same group of people who, like, the dude, because with the Tito's bottle, this is the same group of people where, like, the guy was on coke and he would drive the girls around and stuff. So, like, I got out of that situation. And this is the same girl that I was using for rides. So it's just like, well, I'm using you for rides and you're drunk. And she would let me drive her car because I was the one that wasn't drunk. But even when I'm not drunk, I'm partially high.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, just smoke the blunt high. But
So
I'm
if
like,
you did get in an accident, you
I
would
would still
be
be in
impaired
trouble.
and unlicensed.
I have my license.
Okay, I didn't know.
It might be expired, but I'm messing with you.
Oh.
No, you saying that I don't have my license.
Oh, because when I told the story, I was assuming you didn't get your license until after high school, right? No, you were still in high school.
I
Okay.
was driving before.
Yeah.
Life
So,
has been so long. I can understand the confusion.
well, I've been driving too, so I get it. I don't really know your life. You know, there's stories that you haven't told me. Like, you learned about your birth certificate signing tonight.
Yeah.
Like, there's
which is
stories
interesting.
you don't know about yourself and about me.
Which I'm so happy I stood on my ground with not calling him father. Because it's like, why?
Yeah.
I call you father because you came 5 days late? Thanks. Like,
Right?
like, you would have given me some real ammo if you came back. You'd be like, you're 14, little girl. You shouldn't be knowing these things.
Yeah,
Like,
like
he would have been upset.
He was like, if you choose to have the baby, you're choosing to have it on your own. That's what he told me. And I was like, all right.
And if I knew that information when he was trying to pop in, I was like, you made the choice. I'm all alone now. Like, leave me alone. I'm all alone.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so Rose would just be like, you know, you should be able to take care of your baby. You shouldn't be dependent on his money, which is true. But at the time, it's like, it doesn't matter what I should be doing, ma'am. Your son, first of all, why am I talking to his mom? I have no idea. So when she would go and take you shopping, to answer the question, and then I could turn the live off. Stop. She would take you shopping because, one, that's the only way she knows how to relate to you. She has expendable money. She's just sitting there retired, ain't got nothing else to do with herself, spend her money. And then, because if she was doing to make sure you were taken care of, it would have never stopped. Mm-hmm. It would have extended past that. Mm-hmm. She would have left. You would have known that she's dead. You still don't know that she's dead per her family.
Right.
You heard through the grapevine that your grandmother passed away. Like, if it truly mattered to her, but it more so was performative. And once it stopped being performative for her, she no longer showed up. But she definitely wanted to be like, yeah, I could take care of your child. And, you know, that's like when the mom show up when the son fails, instead of saying, you know, let me be, my son's not doing what my son's supposed to do. I will step up on his behalf. I don't know where I failed or what's going on, but let's go. Because if your son is not showing up for his child, you did something in his raising.
Right?
It's just, be honest. You did not tell him don't show up for your kid, but you never told him to show up for his kid. Because it is life altering to go from no child to having a child. At 18, 17, 19, 20, if no one ever taught you how to be a parent. And your demonstration was not a great demonstration, so I can understand just abandoning your kid. So you actually have to raise your child to be able to be a parent, to be ready to be a parent, to be a father, to be a husband, not a baby daddy.
And you create that narrative even before your children tells you they don't want kids. Like, you don't take that type of stuff for word. Like, you don't believe people when they say that they don't want kids, because kids always come.
Yeah.
The way that society has seen sex as just, you know, hedonism.
Hedonism.
Going for the pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna end up with babies if you're going for pleasure, because pleasure equals, you know.
It's definitely not being fruitful and multiplying.
It's not. Bulls.
It's pleasure that creates fruit.
Exactly.
And look at the fruit. Look at the fruit. This is the fruit that hedonism brought forth, not being fruitful and multiplying brought forth.
And that's what this world is. That's why they have all these issues with overpopulation. If they were taking care of people who actually worked hard and had integrity and were, you know, what they say school is for, like hardworking individuals who have morals, then shoot, they wouldn't have a problem with population, because everybody would be doing their part. Shoot, we had more farmers planting more things, you know? People will be taking up jobs that actually help the economy instead of waste. Because imagine what these strippers are doing. These strippers are using their money to, one, pay their bills, but also pay to get ass shots, or pay to get their teeth fixed, or pay to get, you know, their hair done. These aren't, what's it called, companies, or what do they call, like, the group of sellers, like what they call people who sell things. Anyways, the distribution that they're going through, they're not helping the economy. They're just helping themselves. It's not like, okay, I'm buying a meal for food, so then I own partial credit to.
They're not keeping the economy going.
Yeah, I know that they're not sustaining.
They are keeping the economy going by putting their dollars back into the economy.
Yeah.
No matter if they're at the dollar store,
paying their bills,
or they're paying their whatever. They are keeping the economy going financially, which is keeping them broke. The economy does not need their dollars to continue going. The economy needs their dollars to keep them broke. Okay? And so now their workforce is what's actually keeping the economy going.
Because there's so many people choosing that.
You going to IHOP, me going to this school, all of us holding this structure up and keeping it from collapsing, because if it collapses on us. So we're forced into forced slavery because we can't allow this system to collapse on us.
Which sucks.
So that means we have to alter it, which is what we're doing. We are altering the system, which means, you know what? I don't have to put up with you talking to me crazy. I quit.
No.
I'm like, what did I say? But I see now.
No, this is how we're altering it.
Yeah.
I need this job. I have to pay my bills.
I'm not moving that refrigerator, but you can find somebody else who will.
But the God that I believe in, if I tell you that you can't talk to me, I quit. The God that I believe in is going to now align me with a better job with someone who's going to respect me. So that is how we are shifting the system so it doesn't collapse on us. And we may lose some stuff. We've lost so much when willing to sacrifice. We've lost so much to get here. But it's worth it knowing where God is going to take us. So that's the Job story. It's willing to release the old family, release the cows. I don't care how plentiful the cows and the land and the wife and all that. You got to release all of that, knowing that what God truly is promising you is so much greater than what you've experienced. So that is how we shift our way without completely collapsing the system on us.
Yeah, that is true, because those little micro moments, they start showing people you don't mess with me, you don't mess with my kind, you don't try and put me on the bottom of the totem pole.
Mm-hmm. You said something else that I was making a connection. Hedonism. So a stripper comes from a parent who probably, we don't know.
I read a terrible story today.
But a stripper came from a parent that produced that seed in hedonism outside of God.
Right. Get down.
Someone who
Go
is...
take a shower, please. I don't need you to do things to get attention. If you were scared, you would have got down yourself without being told. Go take your shower.
Can you please just stop?
I
No, you're just doing things for attention, which is unnecessary.
Just take a shower, that's all. No.
So children who are making
No, I'm about to go outside right now.
more self-love decisions, potentially, I don't know, this is in all cases.
No, I'm about to go
Were
outside.
produced in circumstances of be fruitful and
move it.
multiply. I don't know. All right, talk to y'all later.